now we can speak. Okay. So now I should present the web service. So why first, I have learned the web service since Joomla 3, and I just started to tinkering with it with COM API and other possibilities that use to add web services in Joomla. So to me, I think that COM API it allowed to add web services since Joomla 2.5. So that's nice. It's from Techjoomla. And but today I'm going to talk about Joomla 4 web services. So I'm going to present my slides. Wait, share screen. On my screen, so I click on it. Okay. Nice, boom, that one. Sure. You see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So web services, a new world with Joomla NEXT. 13 years ago, web services was already in Joomla 1.5. Okay, but what have changed since? If it was in 1.5, what have changed? And in 1.5, what you have to know is that in 1.5 we already had a kind of web service. It was called XML RPC. XML RPC is something that uses XML to communicate with another system via HTTP. Okay, it's the most basic form of web service, if we can say it like that. So it was already implemented in Joomla 1.5. Yesterday night I opened a 1.5 folder and it was in it. So it existed in Joomla 1.5. But what has changed then? If it was already 1.5, what has changed? We want to know. Okay, what has changed in Joomla 4? Web service, what are they? Web services are input and output endpoints. Okay? That means that web services are nothing more than inputs and outputs. What I mean by that is that you have a system, and you have some inputs and some outputs in the system, and you have another system, and it has some inputs and outputs too. And to make them communicate each other, you use web services. Okay. So that brings me to the next point. Web services, what are they used for? Web services allows systems to communicate with each other. What I mean by that? So normally a system can't communicate with the outside world. So in Joomla 4 we use web services like to communicate with the outside world. So, for example, if you want your Joomla website to communicate with a system like, for example, a CRM or an ERP or something like APIs from the outside world, for a translate API, a weather API or something like that, you need to communicate with the system with a web service. So, for example, if you need a finance for forecast to know the stocks or something like that, the website that is providing the stocks have an API that allows you to get the results on your website. Okay, so So yeah, I introduced the term API, and I'm talking about web service. What you have to know is that an API and a web service is not that different. An API, a web service is just an API over the network. Okay, and that network is the web, the entire web. Okay, the whole internet. Okay. So the next slide. When to use web service. With web service, there is no more competition, but collaboration. What I mean by that is that with web services, there the systems like other CMSs and other frameworks can be used with Joomla 4 via web services. That's what nice with it. So, for example, if we want to communicate with another CMS or another PHP framework, it is possible via web services. So, next. To summarize, web services are input and output endpoints. Web services allow systems to communicate each other. And web services foster collaborations with external tools. Okay. Okay. Those are the contact information. Just in case you want to contact me. Do you still hear me? Because I don't hear anything. Do you still hear me? Hello? Okay. So that's a little present from Martinique. So this is a beach of La Pointe du Marin à Sainte-Anne from Martinique. And now what I will show you is a demo. A demo of a practical use case of web services in a real application. Okay, so I need to change the screen. So change the screen. Okay, the screen is that one, the demo. So that demo is from another Joomla and I, which are working on a project, and it's called Joomla API. And it's a Windows application that uses Joomla 4 web services to communicate, to make other Joomla 4 websites communicate each other. So that's a use case. That's a use case of an external application making Joomla 4 communicate with other Joomla 4 websites. So I will start the video. So, okay.
Sorry, I'm not really able to speak English, so I do my best, but I think Alex will talk more and translate if necessary. Okay. Just a small demonstration, and here we have two sites. First one in this subdomain, the second one, and the goal is to translate this article in other language. Okay. In the application, you can choose you can set any website you want just to set the token. Okay. In a tools menu, I show you how to translate an article. You choose the source site. Here we can see the list of the article. Of course, there is only one. You choose a second site. You can choose the same if you want. The language you want to translate to English. Category. You can publish it immediately or not. You choose the article and just translate. Okay. And now you can see in the back office. Okay. You can see the article which is translated. You have it in French. And now in English. Okay. It's the same, but to use when I can use a second another site. Sorry, the second one. I can choose Italian, for example. Same category. I choose the article. I translate. Okay. And now you can see the second one. I press F5. Okay. The article which is translated in Italian language. Well, with the same application, we can do a lot of things, but I think Alex will talk now. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, the last use case was about using the Geekflare API to use Geekflare tools to communicate, to make your Joomla 4 communicate with Geekflare tools. So that's what it was showing at the last moment. So I think that's it for the demo, and I'm here to hear your questions. Hello? Parth?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here to hear the question. That's it for the demo.
Sure. We'll look into the chat and we'll let you know.
Yeah, okay.
Alexander, could you explain a few more use cases of web services that you've actually used?
You want to know what are more use cases? Is that it?
Yeah, that's one question we have.
Can I disclose the name of the real companies or something like that? Because I don't know if I can make maybe it's like advertising or something like that. I don't. That's why I didn't say the real names, because but I can if
you are okay sharing, that should be okay. That's absolutely up to you.
Okay. So for example, if somebody wants to make a Joomla website, a Joomla 4 website that allows people to buy tickets for a flight, for example, or for a flight, or for hotel booking, something like that. Maybe they want to make the next Airbnb. So there is an API for that. You can use, for example, the Amadeus API, and that's an API that aggregates more than 100,000 hotels and flights and stuff like that in around the world. So you can use it to make your site work to make your site enable the prices and the prices of the flights and the prices of the hotels and the rankings and all that stuff. So but there are many use cases, but I don't have this in my head right away, but there are very many use cases. For example, an e-commerce store, there are many APIs used in the e-commerce store. For example, the Stripe API or the PayPal API or any of payment provider API that is called the payment providers API or web services. They are used in many stores in Joomla. And for example, another API that many stores use in Joomla is the geolocation API to know where the user buying the product is to evaluate, for example, the price of the shipping. You understand? For example, the shipping and the taxes. You understand? To know that, the system has to be sure that the people is in a correct location. So that's the two use cases I see. That there are many more. There are, for example, weather forecast, financial forecast like forex and stuff like that. For example, for programmatic algorithmic, people are working which are working in finance and want to make algorithms and stuff like that to make their website communicate with the forex stats. That's possible with the web service too. And what you have to know is that Joomla 4 allows developers, for example, to create their own routes. What we call their own routes. What I call routes is that it's like what I said earlier, is the endpoints. For example, if you want to create a new set of endpoints in Joomla, you create your own plugin, which is in the group web services, and then when you do that, you can add some more functionality to a Joomla 4 website, because by default only the core has the web services. Only the core components are the web services, like contacts, banners, content, users, and custom feeds, and many more. But you can also create your own web services components. I made something for the community. It's for free. It's for free on YouTube. Not YouTube. Sorry, GitHub. It's called Hello API, and you can start from that. It was based on another Joomla work. She's called Astrid Genter, I think, and she made a component for Joomla 4, and it's super great. And I based my work on this to make a web service enabled starting point for those of you who want to code a web service enabled components in Joomla 4. Does that answer the question, or?
It does. I think it was a very good answer. And just to add,
More questions?
you said,
I wanted to give the more time for questions if people have questions, because
right. I think web service is a very interesting aspect, and which, because Joomla didn't have it natively, not enough people use it. So I think as people explore web services more, I think more and more use cases will get built up. So I'll just take the opportunity to share a few use cases that we used. So one of the most common use cases is mobile apps, where you can start creating
I forgot about that one. So
that's something that we've used.
That's really a huge one. That's really a huge one.
Yeah, we do that a lot. I mean, look at it in a way that anywhere where you need to use web services is where you need to share your data outside your main platform. And on that interface, it could be a mobile app, it could be an Alexa, which is, we have already seen some projects out there where people have used Alexa to connect to Joomla in the backend and do, kind of interactions.
Alexa, HomePod and everything like that.
Exactly.
Connected.
So I think the possibilities it brings is limitless. I think Drupal has talked a lot about being a headless CMS by being API first. Though I won't say we are headless, but we now have one more way in which we can expose data out of Joomla and have ways to interact with different kinds of devices, whether it is mobile, whether it is IoT, whether it is voice-enabled devices. So I think web services brings something that has been missing to Joomla, and really happy that we can deprecate COM API finally once the native Joomla APIs have full capability. And it's always it might sound weird, but we are always happy when something comes into core, because then
sorry to interrupt you, but I found another use case of COM API before deprecating it too soon. Before deprecating it too soon, I find a use case for it is migration. Using the COM API for migrating Joomla 3 to Joomla 4. Content, not plugins and stuff like that, but the content, the menus and the articles and the fields and stuff like that. That would be good.
Absolutely. So we don't plan to deprecate anytime soon. I think there'll be some time before the native Joomla APIs will have all the capabilities that COM APIs have. And once that's there, then it should be a good way to start moving off COM API. But I think that'll take a few months or maybe years. And till that happens, we'll absolutely be supporting COM API as long as it needs to be supported. That's the plan so far.
Okay.
So one more thing that could get very interesting once APIs come to Joomla, and as I said, the ability to use Joomla as a backend. And recently we have done some very interesting work with Pages, which is an extension by Johan, where we have used Joomla as a backend and Pages as a static site generator. With web services, this actually can be taken to a whole new level. You could use any static site generation system or any kind of a front end to build applications. And what will be very interesting is that once this is in native Joomla, then it becomes much more easy to expose your data. So there is a question that is related on this, Alex. I've put it in the chat. I'll just read it out for you. So the question is that will each component have to create their own endpoint, or will Joomla expose the component by itself? Could you answer that?
Yeah. No, wait. Repeat the question, please.
Yes. So will each component need to create their own endpoint, or will Joomla expose the component automatically?
No, it's not automatic. You have to put some code in your component to make it web service enabled, like I say. So no, it's not me that's saying that like that, but to make it your new Joomla 4 component web service enabled, you have to put some code in it. And I gave an example of a working component of a working web service enabled component on GitHub. You can go on GitHub. I don't know if you are familiar with GitHub, but you can go on GitHub and you on my GitHub and you will see.
Yeah, if you share the link to GitHub in the chat,
I'll
share it back to YouTube. So that question was from Nicholas Oliver. So
because that will be useful for everybody who want to get started with this. So
absolutely. So Nicholas, the answer to your question is that it's not automatic. You have to put a little bit of code in your component.
No, it's not. It's not automatic. It's not very much code, but it's not automatic. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
that wouldn't be secure. That wouldn't be secure if it was automatic.
Yeah, perfect. If you can show it.
Yeah. So okay. Oops. GitHub. No. Okay. And that would be useful for you too, the API collection, the Postman API collection to play around with the web services in Joomla. But the one what you asked me for, what the person asked me for is this COM API, COM Hello API and plugin web services Hello API. You have to have those two stuff at minimal, I don't know how to say it, to make it work. Why? Because COM Hello API, wait, I will show you what was added, because it's not that much code though. I want to show you that it's not that much code you need to add. You just need to add the API part, and that's pretty much it. And the API view too. That's the folder. You see, you have to add this folder API, and then you have to put the controller and the view, the JSON API view, and the other stuff that you have to add in the component is just in the manifest. You have to add just this part. Wait, I don't see it. Yes, this part API. This part, and that's it for the components. You see?
Perfect. Thank you so much for answering that.
Yeah, and before that, yeah, there is another important part, because just doing that is not going to work. If you want to expose the routes, what Joomla calls the routes, the endpoints, you have to make what Joomla called the web service, and what in COM API is called an app. So yeah, so that's the plugin that was called an app in COM API. So that's now it's called a plugin web service Hello API. It's in the web service folder in the plugins. So you just do that, and it's pretty easy. There's not so much code in it. You will see there's nothing special. You just have to code the CRUD routes, and this is the controller, this is the view, and this is the controller again, and that's the component that is using it. It's not that difficult. If your component supports categories, you have to put this route. If your component supports the fields, you have to put this, and that's pretty much it. That's not you see that's less than 130 lines of code. You see, so that's the most basic web services plugin that you can do, and it works. So I can show you it because it will be too much time. I don't know how much time I have left. So that's it. More questions?
I think that's about it. That's the last question.
Okay.
Joe, you are there already. I think, Joe, any questions for Alex? Since you're on, maybe you can switch on your video and we can have a quick chat with Alex before we start the next session. Hello, Joe, you there?
Hello.
I guess he might have stepped away for a bit. In the meantime, yeah, I think there is one question from Nitesh. How is the authentication and authorization?
Oh yeah, I just forgot to talk about this. Yes. Yes, I have to thank Nicholas for that one, because yeah, he saved us. Nicholas Denisopoulos from Akiba. He saved us because he implemented the token-based authentication for the API, because before that there was another authentication method that was it was called basic auth, and basic auth what is really bad because of about basic auth it's in clear text. That's really bad. So he created a token-based authentication. And what authentication is for an API is that authentication just say that you are okay. And there is another part of that is called authorization. And the authorization just say you are allowed to do this or you are allowed to do that. Okay, and that's the two parts, the two main parts of the authorization and authentication process in an API. And what Nicholas made for the token-based authentication is really far more secure than before. Okay, no. So I don't know if that answer your question.
Yeah, I think the questions were around that of ability to authenticate and authorize, so that otherwise the endpoints could get overloaded, right? So as well as end up creating issues. So I think that was a good answer, Alex. Thank you. So
one more thing I wanted to add.
Sure.
Joomla 4 allows us to activate what we call public routes. That means that you don't need just like what you just said about authentication and authorization. You can allow users to access some routes publicly. For example, login routes. If it's not public, you can't log in. So that would be nice for example a mobile app or something like that. Or if you want to get for your users to access the articles of your website publicly via the API, you can allow get you can allow the get method on the content article to be public, and that you won't need an authentication token to
absolutely
access it.
Yeah, so it will be a function of the access control on the actual content, which will obviously also play a role here. You're right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so I think those are all the questions, Alex. I think this was a fantastic session. This is a complicated topic. A lot of people, web services, especially for people.
I'm still learning. Yeah. I just really get into it from since Joomla 4 Alpha, and that's since then that I get into it. But I'm still learning.
I think I've been following very closely your progress and your experiments with the APIs. I think you're one of the members in the community that has been really working a lot with the APIs. That is why we thought we'll reach out to you, and hope you can share the knowledge with the community. And thank you so much. I think it was a very insightful session. And once you try these things hands-on, I think that's adds a lot.
Yeah, I will try some stuff and I will make experiments. Hopefully, it won't blow up my computer, and then I will share with the community. No problem.
Absolutely. Thank you.